like T.J. Watt, who had a 10 plus sack season once again. It seems like he's just improving every year as he was a first team All Pro in two positions, linebacker and pass rusher. And he is a promising piece to our defense. It will be for a long time. Um, our other outside linebacker in Bud Dupree had a breakout year this year for the first time in his 4 years here. Had 10 plus sacks, had 11 and a half sacks this year. So he had a promising year. Um, Inside our defense, Cam Hayward was also a first team All Pro like Minka this year. He was last year as well, so his consistency level has always been right there. He's been uh, one of the best defensive ends in the league. You match that with a veteran in Joe Hayden, who had 5 interceptions this year and made a Pro Bowl. I mean, we were a top five defense. And I'm not talking about a defense like Tampa Bay, who were number one in rush defense, but like bottom last in scoring defense. I mean, they get scored on at will. We were a defense that could stop the run, can get to the passer. We're a disciplined defense. We don't make too many mistakes. Um, it just seemed like we were the most well-rounded defense in the National Football League last year. So I think they definitely have so much more promise to go in the future. The Super Bowl window for the Pittsburgh Steelers is closing, and I look at that as more as a positive thing than a negative thing, and here's why. Um, Big Ben Roethlisberger is not going to be able to play forever. We know this. Um, we know that he has about 2 years left on his contract. This is going to force us to make every single move that we can to win now. We seen that as the Steelers went and got tight end Eric Ebron from free agency. He just left the Colts. When Ebron was matched with Andrew Luck, he had outstanding season, 700 yards, 10 plus touchdowns. So Ebron is a really good tight end, and that's going to be perfect for Big Ben because Big Ben, we know he loves his tight ends. He loved Heath Miller, who he played a majority of his career with, and now you got a guy who's faster, might not be as strong, but he's definitely faster, and his hands are good, and he's got speed like receiver, but he's playing a tight end. You match his size up with guys on the outside like Juju. We're gonna be a hard team to stop in 2020. Um, Not to mention with the backfield being James Conner. Sure, we could add a few more pieces, maybe a running back in the later rounds of the draft, but either way, this team is built to compete right now and compete for a Super Bowl, I'm saying, because with Big Ben in the backfield, you're always going to be able to compete. You're always competing for a playoff spot, and once you get in that playoff spot, you're competing for a Super Bowl. And so our first deal is to get to that playoff spot because the Steelers are hungry. We have not been to the playoffs in 2 years. Last year, obviously, starting quarterback got hurt. Everything fell to shambles. But the year before that, we should have made the playoffs, and we did it. So I think the team is really hungry to get back into the playoffs, even though it hasn't been in there in a few years. Ben Roethlisberger is definitely on the brinks of his career, so he's definitely looking to get another Super Bowl title on his belt so he can retire and walk off the man, basically. Um, in the draft, we can address pieces like wide receiver. Maybe we can get Big Ben another receiver just to go along, just for depth purposes, really. Because you can never have too much depth. So, with that being said, another piece for Big Ben Roethlisberger should be great. Our defense will do the job to the best of their ability because we know what type of defense they are. We know what they're going to put out on the field. They're going to put out greatness. and they're not going to let you score. So, with that being said, the Steelers will have a spiking chance to make the playoffs and even win a Super Bowl next year in the 2020-2021 season. Thank you.
I can't win. Okay. Still going.